And coming up on the Sprint Halftime Report, all the scores and highlights from Week 10. The Sprint Halftime Report is next.
I'm playing.
You know I'm playing.
I'm playing.
Believe it, I'm playing.
Yeah, I'm playing.
This Thanksgiving, there's a new tradition. 3 NFL games.
Did you see that?
You don't have to tell LJ what Denver, Kansas City means. John and Champ, they know all about it. Herm, he knows. Pat Bolin, you better believe it. But since it's NFL Network's season premiere of live NFL games, we just thought we'd remind you. NFL Network's coverage of live NFL games begins with the Denver Broncos taking on the Kansas City Chiefs. Broncos-Chiefs, live on NFL Network.
CBS Sports presents the Sprint Halftime Report. Sprint, together with Nextel. Power up.
All right, and welcome back to our New York studios and the Sprint Halftime Report. I'm James Brown, along with the famous Flames, Dan, Shannon, and Boomer to score at halftime. Cincinnati 28-7. Boy, Boomer, they're showing some fight.
I think the character issue's overrated, JB. I've told you that a million times. Here's a 51-yard touchdown pass by Carson Palmer, who, by the way, 20 of 23, 282 yards and 2 TDs. You think he wants to make a statement? 21. That's right. There you go. And Damian Thomas, he goes in 28-7. Carson Palmer is on fire, boys.
What was that again, Shannon?
21.
All right, Boomer, we'll stay with you. New York and New England.
It's a quagmire in New England, and I'll tell you what, Tom Brady has taken shots like this from Victor Hobson all day long. Corey Dillon, former Cincinnati Bengal, he rumbles for 50 yards.
No!
Hey, he's
fourth gear.
When he was wearing the stripes, this would have been a touchdown. Looks like he's put on a few pounds right here. 50 yards, the longest ever in the Bill Belichick era in terms of yardage on the ground. But Kevin Barlow comes down, he scores. 2-yard run. Jets are hanging tough. Patriots kick a field goal right before the end of the second quarter.
Meanwhile, the Colts hosting the Buffalo Bills, Dan.
Peyton Manning looking for one of his favorite guys. Reggie Wayne throws a fade route. That's his 18th touchdown pass of the year. Then before the end of the half, Peyton Manning looking for some more points. Finds Ben Utech. The ball pops loose.
Coughed it up.
Yeah, that's right. He did. He coughed it up. Terrence McGee down the side. Get him, Peyton. Can you get him? And Johnny Unitas' shoes just aren't fast enough.
No question about it. Give that boy some NyQuil, huh, Shannon? All right, meanwhile, Houston at Jacksonville. Shannon.
Houston trying to repeat what they did a couple of weeks ago. Wally London, 1-yard TD run. Built up early. Jags, David Garrard, going to get hit. Ball pops up in the air. Marlon Greenwood from the Texans has it. David Garrard's first INT of the season. 10-3 Texans started the third.
Texans looking for their first win on the road. Shannon, stay with you.
Let's put some hands together for Mr. Vince Young on the 2-yard TD run. Now they're up 10-7. Tennessee's feeling good. Vince Young, Adalius Thomas has him in his sight. Oh, he had Bo Scaife in his sight. 13-yard TD. 19-7 Titans. Travis Henry says, we want more. Come on down, Travis Henry on a 1-yard TD run. And moments ago, Steve McNair, Ovi, what his name is, Boone? Maha Lee. Yeah, that's him. 30-yard TD pass from McNair. Moments in the half, JB, 26-14, Titans on top.
How come you didn't ask me?
Well, we're talking to you now, Dan. Go ahead, buddy.
Hey, this is called a flea flicker. Lateral to the quarterback pass. Joey Harrington, corner in the end zone. Chris Chambers in. Oh, he doesn't get in. Oh, that's half-yard line. Ronnie Brown, he goes in for the touchdown. Hey, Dolphins are winning 13-0.
And winning the time of possession game as well. Boomer Brown.
Oh, Shannon, look at this guy. It's the party starter.
That's him.
Going in for a 1-yard out. Cleveland takes a 7-0 lead over the Falcons. Then Michael Vick comes back. He's going to throw an interception this time. The safety, Sean Jones, he's going to pick it up, give Cleveland really good field position. How about Charlie Fry? Stand in the pocket, son. Look down the field, find Braylon Edwards, 19-yard touchdown. And Cleveland's laying it on the Atlanta Falcons, 14-3.
You going to make it to the BET Awards tonight, though,
I'm going to miss it tonight, but they're going to tape it for me anyway.
All right, Shannon.
Donald McNabb, they're already up 10-0. Courtesy Donald McNabb and Dante Starworth on an 84-yard TD. But hey, Correll Buckhalter, Won't you come on down the line and get some of this? 55 yards, touchdown, 17-3, moments in the half.
Quick strikes by the Eagles. Dan.
Brett Favre, early in the game, he pumps to his left. He finds Noah Herron, 5-yard touchdown, gets in the corner of the end zone. Then Brad Johnson brings his team back. Play action pass, wide open. Billy McMullen, 40 yards for a touchdown. Safeties didn't see him. He snuck through. And then also, here comes Brad Johnson again. Chester Taylor over the middle. He gets hit. Ball pops out. Billy McMullen, his second touchdown of the game. Then Brett Favre, right before the half. All day to throw right up the middle seam. There he goes, Donald Driver. Donald Driver.
Stop chasing.
2 yards for a touchdown. Green Bay.
Don't chase him. They're going to think you gave up that touchdown when you chased him in the end zone.
Hey,
Only in the film room. Boom.
I know Frank Gore's going to go 61 yards right here, guys. A really nice run. But is Beyonce going to be at the BET Awards tonight?
Yes, indeed.
I'm coming. I'm there. But how about this? The San Francisco 49ers obviously not paying attention to Roy Williams, who said that they were going to win this game.
Yeah, Roy, you guaranteed us a victory.
So Don Cornelius used to host what show? Soul Train. All right, with
Let's
that
put
in
some hands
mind,
together for our host all the way from D.C., Mr. James.
and we'll tell you second half of your game coming up now.
CBS Sports presents the Sprint Halftime Report. Sprint together with Nextel. Power up.
Two and a Half Men, CBS Mondays.
NFL Sunday Ticket brought to you by Bridgestone Tires. Passion for excellence.
The wheel goes round and round, we keep it moving, and it don't slow down. The wheel goes round and round, we keep it moving.
Round and round.
The wheel goes round and round, keep it moving.
Oh, yeah.
Keep it moving. Keep it moving. The wheel goes round and round, round and round, round and round, goes round and round.
Once upon a time, there was this idea, one of those proverbial big ideas. An idea so big that it needed help making the leap between possibility and reality. This big idea, it's your idea. Now who's gonna help you make it real?
Multiply your possibilities.
I can give you what you...
Introducing Intel Core 2 Duo, the world's best processors.
The Tigers take on the Tide as fifth-ranked Auburn fights to be the best in the SEC West. It's college football at its best next Saturday on CBS.
When it comes to being a better football fan, nothing beats Sprint NFL Mobile. You can watch exclusive game highlights of all your favorite players, like Peyton Manning. That guy's pretty good, if you like 6'5", 230-pound quarterbacks, laser, rocket arm. With NFL Mobile only from Sprint, you get customizable alerts and real-time stats on your favorite team. Maybe like Peyton Manning's team, maybe.
Get the only Moto Razor with access to NFL Mobile for $49.99. Sprint. Power up.
CBS Sports presents the Sprint Halftime Report. Sprint together with Nextel. Power up.
The pitch to Rudy Johnson, left side to the 5. Touchdown. Tomlinson, lots of room to the end zone and a touchdown. Going deep, wide open for the catch and the touchdown, Chad Johnson. Welcome back to Paul Brown Stadium here in Cincinnati. 28-7 Bengals in the lead at the break. Along with Dan Deerdorf, I'm Greg Gumbel. San Diego's the one with the lightning bolts on their helmets, but they're the ones that have been hit by a little early lightning.
Too many defensive lapses. Carson Palmer has been on fire in the first half, but a lot of times they've been thrown to receivers that have been left alone in the San Diego secondary.
Let's talk about what's happened so far in this game. The story has been an opportunistic Cincinnati team.
Well, Carson Palmer has just had an exquisite first half with a 20 of 23. It just doesn't get any better than that. A couple of touchdown passes. LT, LaDainian Tomlinson, the best runner in the game, has been pretty much smothered by the Cincinnati defense. Chad got in on it. You know, after complaining last week, he says, hey, Mom and Grandma, I do love you. And there's a lot of love in this stadium today, Greg, for everybody wearing a Bengal uniform.
No, you sounded the warning in the first half. Don't count out the San Diego Chargers just yet. This is a potent and explosive offensive team.
They average 31 points a game, and they are not out of this football game. This is the National Football League, but let's be realistic. They're not going to be able to do anything that they did in the first half and get away with it. They're going to have some metamorphosis.
Bengals get their hands on the ball first here in the second half. From inside the 5, it's Chris Perry. Perry still on his feet across the 25 to about the 27-yard line. And Carson Palmer will come back onto the field. And what a first half Palmer and the Bengals had. The Bengals average just under 22 points a game. They already have 28 on the board today. They've put up more yardage than they average and have registered more first downs than they usually do.
I know that's already highlighted in yellow, but 336 yards in a half. There'll be a lot of teams today that in the entire game don't muster 336 yards.
The give is to Rudy Johnson. Across the 30 to the 31 before he's wrestled down by a mass of Charger defenders.
And we talked early about the fact that Baltimore is leading the AFC North with a 6-2 record, and they're losing at halftime today. And I'm sure most of the people in this stadium realize it. So the Bengals have a chance to go to 5-4, and hopefully they'll get to see the Ravens fall to 6-3. If they're filling out their wish list, that's what it would be.
Palmer to throw. Going up and grabbing it is Houshmandzadeh. And that's across the 35 to the 36. As Marvin Lewis made it quite clear, there's an awful lot of football to be played this season.
And I think that's the point that he was trying to make when he set fire to the statistics of the first 8 games. That was then. We need to just change things around. We're not playing horribly. We're just not playing well enough to close the deal and win the close games. They've been losing the close ones.
2 tight ends on 3rd and 1. The pitch for Rudy Johnson. Tucks it inside, has the first down, and a marker flies.
This will almost certainly, I would think, be holding against Cincinnati, the way it was thrown and on a running play like that.
Tripping, 53 offense, 10-yard penalty, spotted the foul, 3rd down.
That's the center, Eric Gajcek.
Yeah, he's the guy that's been playing for Rich Bram, who's been out again with a knee and been playing well. Tripping is one of those things that, 25, 30 years ago, we used to do all the time and get away with it. It was about 10 years ago the league decided they were going to start cracking down on it. They would say, there were some guys that I played with back then that had it down to an art form. We used to call it a leg whip, but it was an effective tool, but it's gone by the wayside.
I'm very impressed that you're owning up to it.
Well, it was sometimes all you had left. You missed him with everything else. Your heel or the back of your leg was all you had left. It was the only body part you had left to hit the guy with.
You know, we've talked about these injuries. Marvin Lewis brought up a point. With all the injuries, sometimes it makes it difficult to practice the way you want to practice.
You're exactly right. This isn't a college team where you got 100 guys in uniform for practice.
Palmer, pump fake, going deep down the far sideline, fights for the ball, and who comes down with it? Nobody. Incomplete.
Yeah, and who'd he go to there, Greg?
Chris Henry.
Yes. The guy that Carson Palmer said, he's going to have to earn my trust. Well, this is how you earn your quarterback's trust. It's one-on-one, and you go up and compete for the football. Quentin Jammer did an outstanding job defensively, but Chris Henry did too. He went up and he competed for the football, and as a quarterback, that's all you can ask.
And on the sideline, Chris Palmer just walked right by Henry and gave him a pat on top of the helmet. Keenan McCardell back at his own 25-yard line. First punt of the day for the Bengals. fair catch is made at the 31-yard line. 13:15 to play. Third quarter. 28-7 Bengals.
The country just got smaller. Southwest has lowered fares on our long-distance flights. See how we're taking low fares farther at southwest.com.
You are now free to move about the country.
Let's go.
What are you doing? You trashing my truck.
You serious?
Ford F-150.
Sorry.
Best-in-class payload outside, a ton of comfort inside. Treat it right.
SAP software can grow as the company grows? That's great because we are definitely going global. Just as soon as we go national.
Let go of the day. Go Outback tonight. For the steak is thick and juicy, the shrimp sweet.
Let's go out back tonight.
Let go.
Life will still be there tomorrow.
Go Outback.
What happens in Finland will bring some amazing race teams joy and others tears.
I never expected it.
CBS Tonight after 60 Minutes.
This telecast is copyrighted by the NFL for the private use of our audience. Any other use of this telecast or of any pictures, descriptions, or accounts of the game without the NFL's consent is prohibited.
Chargers coach Marty Schottenheimer looking on with interest as Phillip Rivers and the offense take over at their own 31-yard line. He'll throw on first down, up the seam. Tomlinson with the catch and the run to midfield and a first down.
I'll bet you one of the things that Marty Schottenheimer talked to his team about is he's coached a lot of games where they've come from more than 21 points behind. And I bet you he's done it with teams that weren't as talented offensively as this team. So there's probably a lot of concern, but maybe a little confidence there too. It can be done.
Going to shake things up and go without a huddle. This time throws to the far side of the field, and that's incomplete. Intended for Malcolm Floyd, 2nd and 10. Interesting to talk with Marty yesterday as we discussed this whole evolution of Phillip Rivers and how Rivers admits that being able to sit on the sidelines for a couple of years instead of being thrown into a lineup and expected to produce immediately, Rivers feels it's helped him tremendously.
In hindsight, that's what he says. I'm sure he chafed at it a little bit while it was happening, but to watch Drew Brees perform at the level he did, clearly a big help to Phillip Rivers.
Rivers throws far side. Tomlinson out of the backfield and out of bounds at about the 42.5-yard line. Landon Johnson, twice injured in the first half, back on the field and ran him out.
Landon Johnson is, I think, showing everybody a little something here. This guy has twice been hurt so badly he had to come off the field, and he knows how thin they are at linebacker, and there he is back out there. Now that's being a professional.
One of the few guys named Johnson in a Bengal uniform who hasn't scored yet today. Rivers throws, and that's complete. Tomlinson again, the Chargers Mr. Do Everything.
And it's a very patient Phillip Rivers, again enjoying good protection. And LaDainian Tomlinson, and for all we know about him as far as being a runner, the leading receiver on this football team as well, very adept out in space. And then, of course, we know what happens after he tucks it under his arm. The guy is also a pretty good thrower of the football as well.
San Diego has run it 8 times, and this will be the 21st pass. And that's a penalty marker. Antonio Gates was in the neighborhood.
Antonio Gates was right there. The ball bounced just about a foot from Gates. Now, he certainly wasn't a very inviting target considering...
Holding, defense, number 28, 5-yard penalty, first down.
Oh, Marvin Lewis is livid.
Any way you want to look at it, there was an intended receiver, there was an eligible receiver in the vicinity of where Phillip Rivers threw the football.
The penalty call is on safety, Dexter Jackson. And the outcome is the Chargers have a first down at the Cincinnati 31. Throwing far side, and that is complete to Malcolm Floyd. Breaks away, 15, 10, inside the 5. It'll be first and goal.
Well, Malcolm Floyd is a huge receiver at 6'5", 225, and look how he's able to move, because there are two Bengals that have him bracketed right there. Justin Smith and Torrey James, he spins away from both of them. And then he really does a nice job of covering up and protecting the football at the end of the run.
First and goal from the 4. Tomlinson cuts back to the end zone and a San Diego touchdown. Second of the day for Tomlinson. His 14th rushing touchdown of the season.
Well, San Diego that did nothing much to speak of in the first half until at the very end when they put together a scoring drive, came right back with a good solid football drive to score another touchdown, and that sharp move back to the inside by Tomlinson gets him in the end zone again.
The extra point is good. LaDainian Tomlinson, the brain trust of the Bengals, not at all pleased at this turn of events. It's 28-14 since.
Michael, lass mal runter ein bisschen. Weiter links. Gut. So you couldn't find a car you like here in Germany?
No. I couldn't find a speed limit I liked in America.
Nothing compares to the right gift. That's why our pledge is to wow everyone on your list.
And now, get the movies, music, and video games they really want and earn double Reward Zone program points. Wrap up the wow, only at Best Buy.
You wouldn't make it in pro football, but you can get inside with VCast. Download Madden's weekly game reports, get scores, stats, and more exclusively from Verizon Wireless. It's the network.
The NFL on CBS is sponsored by Southwest Airlines, proud sponsor of the NFL and official airline of Super Bowl 41. Comfort Suites by Choice Hotels with free Savory Starts breakfast. And by Ford F-Series, built for bold moves, built Ford tough.
It's turning into a nice day here in Cincinnati. And things are looking up considerably for the Chargers after that drive. 6 plays, 69 yards in just under 2.5 minutes. And they've cut Cincinnati's advantage in half at 28-14. This will be Chris Perry from the 4. To the 20. When that penalty marker is down. And from the reaction of the Charger players, this is going to be against Cincinnati.
Holding, receiving team, number 82, half the distance to the goal, first down.
So with 10:41 to play in the third, Carson Palmer starts in a bit of a hole.
I I've been to Newark, Hackensack, 3 meetings back to back.
Conference in Maine, put faces to names.
Seminar, Lombard, big stack of business cards.
Stayed at Comfort Suites, got a hot breakfast free.
Warehouse, inventory, Foreman had a funny story.
Big meeting, New Rochelle, told my boss, all went well.
This fall, stay at any Comfort Inn, Comfort Suites, Quality Inn, Sleep Inn, or Clarion Hotel. After 2 separate stays, you'll earn a free night with Choice privileges. For reservations, visit choicehotels.com. Choice Hotels. We'll see you there.
Introducing the new Family Value Meal from Pizza Hut. Start with 2 medium pizzas topped any way you want them. Add breadsticks and cinnamon sticks and a 2-liter of Pepsi, all for $19.99. You always get more when you go for the good stuff.
This is titanium, and only Remington can deliver it in their revolutionary titanium shaving system, designed for a shave that's incredibly close and comfortable. Remington Titanium. It could just make all other shavers obsolete.
Recently, some allergy decongestants chose to change their formula to stay in the aisle. Claritin D chose not to change. Thank you, Claritin D. So now you'll find Claritin D behind the pharmacy counter.
Thank you, Claritin D, for staying tough on the toughest allergy symptoms.
For refusing to change your formula. Nothing works stronger, faster, or longer to relieve your worst allergy symptoms, including congestion and sinus pressure without drowsiness.
Thank you, Claritin D, for helping me live Claritin Clear.
Claritin D, now behind the pharmacy counter, still no prescription needed.
Buy a Storm midweight jacket, get a free gift code.
60 Minutes honors the memory and talents of our friend and colleague, Ed Bradley, tonight.
I remind you tonight on CBS, a hate crime may lead to murder on a new cold case. That's at 9, 8 Central, here on CBS, America's #1 network. From deep in their own territory, Bengals get underway. And Palmer will start by throwing the ball. That's complete out across the 10 to about the 13-yard line to Rudy Johnson. Let's go back to the play that kept that drive going.
Here's Antonio Gates. Out here is Dexter Jackson, the guy that gets called for the defensive holding. But why? Jackson comes on a blitz. Gates blocks him, and then he gets thrown to the ground by Jackson. I don't know how. Once Gates engages him as a blocker, you can call a guy for defensive holding. Gates wasn't trying to release into a pattern. He was trying to keep him away from his quarterback. I think the Bengals got the raw end of that deal, and it kept the drive alive that ended up being a touchdown.
You certainly saw the reaction of Marvin Lewis on the sideline.
Well, it's just, you can't have everything. If you're a receiver, and clearly Gates is an eligible receiver, but if you engage yourself as a blocker, the guy you're trying to block has every right to throw you to the ground and try to get past you. I think Marvin was pretty justified in getting upset, but it sure worked out well for San Diego.
3rd and 6 now from the 13-yard line for Cincinnati. Palmer on the move, looking, and throws incomplete, intended for Houshmandzadeh on the far side. And this will result in a punting situation.
And a little bit of a nervous little wave is kind of making its way around Paul Brown Stadium right now as they protect a 2-touchdown lead. And now the ball's going back to this San Diego offense that suddenly has reverted to form.
Keenan McCardell back at his own 40-yard line, and Kyle Larson will be kicking from about his own 1 or 2. Not all that good a kick. Floats out of bounds, and San Diego is going to start in Cincinnati side of the field. LT back to work.
Introducing the all-new Extended Length Expedition. Now with more than twice the cargo space behind the 3rd row.
Dad!
Hey, son.
Man, I wish you guys could be here.
Yeah, well, we do too.
It's a long way, I know.
Well, let us know how it goes.
Okay.
Let's go.
Bold moves. They happen every day.
When I signed up for Vonage, I was able to keep my phone number, and then when I moved, I was able to take it with me.
Call quality is the utmost. It projects my business. And with Vonage, it's perfect.
Vonage and reliability, that just kind of goes hand in hand.
It's just $24.99 a month for unlimited local and long-distance calling. Vonage is a better way to phone for less.
Get 1 month free. Call 1-800-989-4VON or visit one of these fine retailers.
Tap the can, ladies, for a single. You can mingle. There's my double cheeseburger and my sweet sundae. I love hot French fries. And top it off with a parfait. That'll work.
Now's the time to take advantage of the McDonald's Dollar Menu.
Food for my party? Busted.
From parfaits to fries to double cheeseburgers.
Where's my parfait, homie?
You're watching the NFL on CBS, home of Super Bowl 41. The NFL on CBS is sponsored by Miller Lite. For great taste, there's no debate. Miller Lite, always a good call. And by Wrangler, makers of Wrangler Jeans Company. New fits, new comfort, new styles.
Well, the crowd was boisterous, and now you might say they're a little bit concerned, but here they come again in support of the Bengal defense. First down, San Diego at the Cincinnati 46. Rivers with time, gonna go deep, has a man wide open. That is a touchdown, Malcolm Floyd.
He froze the Cincinnati defense on the pump fake. He froze the safeties, and Malcolm Floyd got open deep. And there's somebody hurt down in the end zone. Watch Phillip Rivers right here. There's the pump fake. That froze the secondary of the Bengals, and Floyd gets deep. And a perfect strike from Phillip Rivers. And Deltha O'Neal landed really awkwardly, and I think that's him that's being attended to by the Cincinnati staff.
Still on his back in the end zone.
You could see that he was right around the legs of Malcolm Floyd and landed. Here's the pump fake. Well, it was kind of obscured right there, but it was enough to get the secondary to bite. Ooh, you could see him. It looks like his head got hit by either some part of the lower leg of Malcolm Floyd.
Maybe even the foot.
Yeah, I'm not 100% sure what it was, but you could see his body recoil back. Let's take a look at it one more time. That's O'Neal coming in. Oh, it's on the back of his right, on the back of Floyd's right knee and calf. Catches O'Neal flush in the helmet. And how about this for a turn of events? The San Diego Chargers outscore their opponents in the third quarter by such a huge margin. As of right now, pending the outcome of this extra point, 56-10 so far this season. About to make it 57-10. That is a lopsided advantage.
Deltha O'Neal helped off the field and into the locker room. The extra point by Kading is good. And what a turnaround coming out of the locker room by the San Diego Chargers, led by the arm of Phillip Rivers. They close to within a touchdown.
Football fans have become too reliant on one sign. So what did we come up with?
Lock. Sure, laugh. I propose you use nickel when you need 5 defensive backs, or dime when you need 6.
But I think it's about time we show a little love to offense. Offense!
Let's issue a continuance on the defense and give the offense a tryout this season.
For great taste, there's no debate. Miller Lite.
Super Duty, the most capable pickup in America.
They happen every day. Built comfortable. Built strong. Built right. Wrangler 5-star premium denim jeans. Wrangler. Real, comfortable jeans.
Y'all ready to order? And y'all ready to check me out in the amazing picture clarity of DirecTV HD? It's broadcast in 1080i. I totally don't know what that means, but I want it.
For the best in HD, get DirecTV.
The man who did this fits right in.
He wants to feel the life leave their bodies.
They live in the same city, but they're worlds apart.
Malcolm Floyd taking a trot to the Charger locker room. San Diego has come charging back in the last minute and a half. Phillip Rivers had 98 passing yards in the first half. He has 98 on 2 drives in this quarter. From the 8-yard line, this is Chris Perry. To the 20 and running room. 30, 40, and caught from behind. Carlos Polk may have saved a touchdown. 36-yard return.
Well, Chris Perry, a very effective running back, also doubles as a kickoff return guy for Cincinnati. Really felt terrible. Started out the game last week in Baltimore, fumbling on the opening kickoff return, and there's some atonement right there. Gives the Bengals outstanding field position, and they got to stem the momentum here a little bit. They could use it.
Look at the total yard story so far in this quarter. Still 9 minutes to play. Palmer. Chad Johnson inside the 25 and a first down.
Well, if there was a theme in the first half, it was the Chargers' inability to put tight coverage on the Bengals receivers. And here's a good illustration of it. Chad Johnson so wide open, we had trouble getting a Bengal in the picture, and then he makes Marlon McCree miss him. McCree comes back in and gets in on it, but Chad Johnson wide open.
From the 22. On the end around is Chris Perry. Perry down the sideline. Knocked out of bounds at about the 5. Jamal Williams, the nose tackle, came all the way across the field to make the hit.
Oh, how about that move by Chris Perry? This is pretty slick running, working the sidelines. Look, he's getting a great block by Eric Steinbach out, but that move right there, and then he's got enough athletic ability to stay in bounds. Yep, he gets drilled at the end by Jamal Williams, but what a run by Chris Perry. And you know it had to be good for this week for a crowd in Ohio to cheer a guy from Michigan. You know it had to be a good run.
18 yards, first and goal, just inside the 5-yard line. Palmer on the move, throws, that is complete to Perry, and that actually may lose a yard or so. You're right, it's tough to get kudos around here for a Michigan guy this week, isn't it?
It is. They're just, I guess they won't really start their official dislike of all things Michigan until tomorrow. As long as he's playing well for the Bengals, he gets a pass today. But I'm afraid the state of Ohio going to be consumed with little else between now and next Saturday afternoon.
On second and goal, this is Rudy Johnson. Cuts it back at the 5. Pulls his way forward to maybe the 3. It'll be third and goal.
While we're discussing efforts and hustle, how about Jamal Williams getting all the way downfield to put that lick on Chris Perry? Now, you don't see 350-pound nose tackles making plays on the sidelines downfield very often.
What's his favorite snack, Dan?
What did he tell us yesterday? It was pizza. But he said he's on a diet, so he's gone to thin crust pizza because it's less fattening. Way to go, Jamal.
Kenny Watson in the backfield. Palmer, what'll he do on 3rd and goal? He'll throw for it. Quick pass. And that's knocked down, incomplete. Derek Robinson, number 98 at 6'4", 289 pounds.
Double teamed right at the line of scrimmage. I'd say got a good 3-4 inch vertical leap there and blocked the pass.
The best thing about Jamal Williams' story and his thin crust pizza, he doesn't eat it slice by slice. He rolls the whole pizza up and eats it like a burrito.
His exact words. We couldn't make that up.
On to try the field goal from 21 yards out is Shane Graham. The place down is up and the kick is good. So Cincinnati answers with 3 points of their own, and they stretch the lead to 10 with 6:27 to play here in the 3rd quarter. And while we have a moment tonight on CBS, it's a 60 minutes tribute to the memory and the many talents of our friend and colleague Ed Bradley. And you just couldn't find a finer man in the world of journalism. Ed Bradley was a class act. That's on 60 Minutes tonight.
Everyone at CBS a heavy heart. What a presence he had. When he walked into a room, you knew he was in the room. He pretty much sucked the air out of it.
A tremendous sports fan. Tremendous sports fan. (31-21). This game has not lacked for big plays.
And that drive by Cincinnati, oh, how important that was. All the momentum was with San Diego, and they got within 1 score, and that was a critical drive for the Bengals. They went back, they got some points out of it. Yeah, a touchdown would have been nice, but they maintained their 2-score advantage.
Carson Palmer talking things over on the sideline. How about the day Chad Johnson has had? A season high 8 catches, a season high 152 yards, and a touchdown. This ball will bounce into the end zone and through the end zone for a touchback. Michael Turner letting it roll through. And so 6:27 to play in the 3rd. Here's what Chad's done today.
Well, he's been a busy guy out there on the field. Take a look at this, a little bit of everything, whether it's a 1-yarder and taking a hit, and then downfield Carson Palmer on the deep out pattern, and then the touchdown where he's just totally disregarded by the San Diego defense, wide open. And now we move into the 2nd half. He's got the crossing pattern over the middle, and as usual, Carson Palmer delivering strikes, and Chad has been right in the middle of things.
Now let's see what the Bengal defense is up to. San Diego, 2 possessions this quarter, 2 touchdowns, and that pass is incomplete, intended for LaDainian Tomlinson out of the backfield.
Good coverage there by Madieu Williams. He was all over Tomlinson. Oh, and there's Malcolm Floyd, who went into the locker room, and he's back, but he's on the sideline. Eric Parker has a neck injury, and he's not playing right now. So Keenan McCardell is having to do a lot of the heavy lifting.
On 2nd and 10. Here comes the blitz. Quick pass to the near side. That's complete to Antonio Gates. You know, we were talking with Madieu Williams yesterday, and I thought he had an interesting description of Phillip Rivers. He called him efficient.
And, well, when you know, he came into this game really taking care of the football. When you have more than 3 times as many touchdown passes as interceptions, as a quarterback, you're protecting the football. That's efficiency. That wins football games.
Madieu Williams, a native of Sierra Leone, a graduate of University of Maryland. 3rd and 3. McCardell in motion to the top of your screen. Quick pass this side. That's complete. That'll be enough for 1st down. And we have markers fly. It appeared a Bengal jumped.
Yeah, I think Robert Gathers was across the line of scrimmage. Gathers gets a head start. Now there's another call. Are we going to have more than one foul here?
There are 2 fouls against the defense that'll be declined. Offsides, number 90, that is declined. Illegal hands to the face, number 40, defense. Both of those are declined. First down. Correction, number 91 on the offsides.
Well, the bottom line is it's first down for San Diego at their own 35.
The chains get moved either way. And Justin Smith, who was misidentified, was glad they set the record straight.
Malcolm Floyd, 3 catches, 81 yards. This is Tomlinson. And LT has not had the same success running the football today as he has in his last couple of outings. The last 2 games, he's rushed for 183 yards against St. Louis, and then 172 against Cleveland.
For almost a 9-yard per carry average in those 2 games. And running against a team that's been pretty generous there. Ranked 24th in the league against the run. The Bengals have given up a lot of yards.
Just 33 yards for LT on the ground today, but Rivers has found goal throwing the ball. He throws it over the middle, and that's a first down. Antonio Gates close to midfield, and the Chargers are on the move again.
Well, and it's one of those deals, Greg, you got to wonder, is the threat of LaDainian Tomlinson running the football actually opening up the passing lanes for their passing game? It's we've seen it the other way enough times where a great receiver like a Randy Moss will open up the running game. We may be seeing it in reverse.
From the 49.
Cincinnati showing blitz. Here it comes.
Stepping up, throwing, and it is out of bounds. Are they going to call that a completion? Incomplete. McCardell making a terrific effort.
This will give us the very end of it. McCardell elevates. Well, I could see why the one official might have been a little obstructed in seeing the other leg. But we see the left foot down, but the right foot's in the air. The right foot was in the air, and it looks like it doesn't drag.
It did drag.
Well, it did drag. You're right, it did drag in bounds. Question was whether or not he had possession.
Here comes the challenge from Marty Schottenheimer.
You're right. And on one angle, it looked like the right foot was off the ground, and then we could see it on the second shot that it did drag. Now the question is going to be, did he have full possession of the football when both those feet are down? How firmly does he grasp the ball?
San Diego is challenging the ruling on the field that it is an incomplete pass.
All right, where's possession start? Right there.
Left foot down, right foot drag.
Right foot down, and I think he hits the ground and he holds on to the football. I think he has that ball firmly under control. I think that's a catch. I think that's a catch.
What an outstanding.
Not to mention, what, stand up and applaud the effort by Keenan McCardell. As I understand the rules, you have to maintain. I think we agree he's got the feet down.
Right.
And how firmly does he puts the ball away?
Tucks
It doesn't come loose. I think that's a catch.
And Marty had the good fortune to have the headset on.
1-2 possession. And we saw that spectacular catch by Marvin Harrison last week in the end zone. That wasn't a whole lot better than this. This is special. That is really special by Keenan McCardell.
15th season in the NFL out of Nevada, Las Vegas.
Good look, guys. Great work by our tape operators, showing us that both feet are down, and to me that's possession of the football. That thing didn't come loose at all. It bounced away from his chest, but firmly in the grasp of his hand. You got to give it to him.
And here comes Scott Green to make it official.
After reviewing the play, the receiver maintained possession, toe tapped with his second foot. There's a completed catch. 1st and 10, San Diego at the 26-yard line. San Diego is not charged with a timeout.
I know it's the obligation of the home crowd to boo. They ought to give the guy a hand. You aren't going to see many catches better than this all season long. That is just a thing of beauty. That is a thing of beauty.
Two catches for 49 yards for Keenan McCardell. One of our faves, Carrie Brooks Robinson. We've missed her for the last 2 weeks. She's back with us. Gosh, you wonder if that would have been that would not have been overturned without her on the sideline. Our whole crew, actually.
I think the Hulk had it too, so we're all over it. Way to go, guys and girls.
First down. Tomlinson breaks to the outside, the 20, the 15, and out of bounds just inside the 10-yard line. It'll be 1st and goal, and it's become apparent here in the 3rd quarter that the Bengal defense is having all kinds of problems putting the brakes on San Diego.
Well, and that is why Cam Cameron, the offensive coordinator, will never stop handing it off to LaDainian Tomlinson, because maybe you smother him for a half, maybe you smother him for 3 quarters, but you don't do it for an entire game very often.
Tomlinson again, tracked down from behind for very little or no gain by Justin Smith.
Man, that's a good play by the defensive end from Missouri. Wow, talk about getting around a guy in a hurry, although he's left unblocked. But look at that hustle down the line of scrimmage. That's why the Bengals made Smith the #1 draft choice. That kind of closure is hard to come by.
On 2nd and goal. Inside the 5 to the end zone, and a touchdown for Brandon Manumaleuna.
Well, Manumaleuna is primarily a blocker, even though he played in a high-powered passing offense all his years in St. Louis, because he's almost 300 pounds, but being that big, remarkably nimble with really soft hands. Now, when you're on a team with Antonio Gates, you're not going to be the primary tight end, but he's a useful weapon. And Marvin right now, a little angst there.
Kading's extra point attempt is good. Just over 3 minutes to play here in the 3rd. San Diego has outscored the Bengals 21-3 in this 3rd quarter, and Manumaleun's score gives the Chargers just a 3-point deficit.
Well, Cincinnati has had trouble closing the deal because they've been involved in a lot of close games. Their first one against Tampa Bay, they got a kind of a phantom roughing the passer call. They end up losing that. Then Michael Vick comes back. Crumpler was really a factor in that game as they lose by 2 to Atlanta. And then last week, they had the ball on the last possession of the game, tried to put it together on 4th down. TJ Houshmandzadeh thought he was interfered with, didn't get the call. So they have 3 losses by a total of 9 points, and that is very, very frustrating.
Well, in games decided by 7 or less, first 3 seasons with Marvin Lewis, things were golden. This year, it's been rough.
Well, we're back to the old, sometimes you get the bear and sometimes the bear gets you.
Three-point lead for Cincinnati. This will be Chris Perry from the 8. And across the 25 to about the 26-yard line. And the tackle is made by Matt Wilhelm. Numbers in the AFC West, San Diego right up there with the Denver Broncos. And just a smidge ahead of Kansas City.
And the key there is that San Diego and Denver still have to play their 2 games. They haven't played yet.
Kansas City having a difficult time at Miami against the Dolphins today.
San Diego heads to Denver next week.
From the 26. On first down, Palmer to throw. Has time. Going deep, wide open, Chad Johnson. Shakes free to the 10, the 5, another. Chad Johnson, touchdown.
And you got guys on San Diego's defense just screaming at each other, trying to figure out who's got the coverage on whom. Antonio Cromartie, the rookie, ended up being the guy closest to Chad Johnson, and a whole bunch of Chargers were going at it with each other, trying to figure out who made the mistake. You don't let 85 all alone in your secondary.
Dan, at times today, it appears that everybody has agreed not to cover a guy who goes deep.
We have seen some wide open receivers today. You are exactly right.
74 yards. Shane Graham's kick is good. How's that for a quick answer?
It's almost like we had a leap week here, and a couple of these secondaries decided to not practice this week. Look at what Carson Palmer sees. All of a sudden he turns to the left after looking to the right, and his jaw must have dropped. Is that really Ocho Cinco that wide open? Oh, wow. That is a gift horse that no quarterback would ever look and say, oh, that's too good to be true.
Chad Johnson has a career high 226 yards receiving. And that's Chad in the end zone.
Not sure what we'll call that. Not sure it makes his top 10 list. Look at that, 226 yards, only a 25-yard average.
That is a franchise record. And we still have 2:50 to play in the third.
Carson Palmer has nearly 400 yards passing, and there's still 2 minutes and 50 seconds left in the third quarter. This is a meltdown of pass coverage by the Chargers of almost epic proportions. The second-ranked defense in the league, folks. Keep that in mind.
Michael Turner from the 11. Running room, far side, 30, 40, to midfield, still on his feet. And finally, not out of bounds. Is there no end to the big plays on this field?
Well, obviously, this is an old AFL shootout right here. We're going back to the 60s. I'll be Al DeRogatis. You can be Kurt Gowdy, and we'll just call this thing the way it used to be. What a nice job by Michael Turner. Look at the blocks. He just outruns Lorenzo Neal, who finally gets over there to try to help out.
It's a 49-yard return, setting the Chargers up at the Bengal 40-yard line. LT on the ground. It's hit hard. After about a 2 or 3 yard pickup, Landon Johnson.
I knew I'd do football for a long time. I never thought I'd get Al DeRogatis into a game.
Three-yard gain makes it 2nd and 7. Here comes the blitz. Picked up. The pass. Tipped. And close. Incomplete.
Torrey James. Oh, did he almost have that? Oh, he tried to keep it alive. Justin Smith back there right at the end. Justin Smith gets the deflection. It hits Floyd, and then Torrey James does a juggling act with it. Oh, and there's where it touches the ground. Good work by the officiating crew to see that. Yeah, just touched the ground before Justin Smith picked it up.
How about Justin Smith back there in pass coverage? 3rd and 7. Rivers throws. That's complete. First down yardage. Malcolm Floyd, who has had a huge day today, is inside the Bengal 25, and it's a first down.
Again, it is the inability of Cincinnati here to get much of a pass rush on Phillip Rivers that is really creating a lot of these problems. He is able to step up into the pocket, step forward, and just deliver strikes.
First down, Chargers. Tomlinson right up the middle, still on his feet. Inside the 10, it'll be 1st and goal at the 7. Dexter Jackson tripped him up.
And look at that, LT and Jackson. LT gave him props, and we've got somebody hurt here. One of the San Diego linemen, I think, is injured.
Back at the 20-yard line, it's Nick Hardwick, the center, 3rd-year man out of Purdue.
I mentioned earlier in the telecast that the San Diego offensive line has been together all year. They've started every game together.
And Hardwick is still down. Mentioned the big plays that have happened today, Dan. Plays of 20 or more yards. San Diego has had 4 of them. Cincinnati's had 7.
And you saw over in the sideline there Corey Withrow starting to warm up, snapping. Let's see if we can find out. Let's look at the right side of our screen. There he is right there. Oh, he gets his right ankle and caught underneath. Ooh, and it really bent severely. And that's Corey Withrow. He's a veteran, a 7th-year guy, and he'll have to come in and play center. Boy, yeah, that's just what happens to offensive linemen so many times. It's the collateral damage of someone else falling on your leg as you're trying to finish off a block.
I think you were saying a couple of weeks ago we talked about this very thing. You said the key is keep your head on a swivel, and even then you can't protect against things like that.
No, because you're locked up with the guy you're trying to block. You're trying to do your job, and you know, it's just unfortunate when your feet are planted on the ground and there's contact and you just can't get it up off the ground quick enough to keep it from suffering some damage. And that one really bent in on Hardwick.
San Diego with over 220 yards in this quarter alone. 3 red zone possessions, 3 touchdowns, and they're looking for more here on 1st and goal at the 8. First and goal. Tomlinson in the backfield behind Rivers. The give is to LT. To about the 6. Justin Smith.
You keep giving it to him. You don't stop. You don't stop handing it off to 21.
We've seen Rivers throw so well in this game, but LT told us yesterday, Dan, he said early on teams like Baltimore and Pittsburgh took the run away from them to see if Rivers could perform, and they found out he could. On 2nd and goal, Rivers running out of time inside the 5 and down at about the 3-yard line, and that'll be the last play of the quarter. We've come to the end of the 3rd. Cincinnati with a 10-point lead. We'll come back after this message and a word from your local station. You're watching the NFL on CBS.
Tuesday, stranded 1,000 miles from nowhere.
How I Met Your Mother, CBS tomorrow.
You are watching NFL Sunday Ticket.
Get a Volkswagen and receive a custom First Act guitar. Plug into the stereo and rock your V-dub from bumper to bumper.
I believe that the world is a beautiful place, blessed with diversity, and we should all be more tolerant of people different than ourselves. I believe that even when I'm out of town and surrounded by other viewpoints, I should still support my team.
NFL Shop, Mondays at 7, only on HSN, the official TV retailer of the NFL.
Let's do it!
Way you move, baby.
Multiply your possibilities. Introducing Intel Core 2 Duo, the world's best processors.
Wide open, another. Chad Johnson, touchdown.
Here comes the fourth quarter.
Tomlinson cuts back, and a San Diego touchdown.
On CBS.
Thank you, LT. LT with a vested interest in what happens here in the fourth and final quarter. And if this quarter's anything like the first three, it's going to be interesting. Last 5 possessions for San Diego, 4 have resulted in a touchdown, and the 5th was a one-play deal that led to halftime.
Well, if the fourth quarter is going to be anything like the 3 prior, fasten your seatbelt.
San Diego with a 3rd and goal at the Cincinnati 2. And here comes the crowd. Tomlinson outside, looking for running room, finds a touchdown, penalty marker down.
And it looked like they grabbed LT's face mask. I mentioned in the first half about this stiff arm that this guy's developed. Boy, it's hard enough to try to tackle a guy this powerful without getting this one right in the kisser. Here it comes right there as he clears it.
Grabbing the face mask. Number 40, defense. That penalty be enforced on the kickoff. Touchdown.
Medeo Williams gets a hold of it, and he doesn't let go. Look how long he held on to that thing, and it still wasn't enough to bring down Tomlinson. And that 15-yard penalty was going to make a difference on the kickoff.
3rd time he scored 3 touchdowns in a game this season. His 14th touchdown in the last 5 games. Katie's kick is good, and once again, it's a 3-point game.
Go ahead.
38-35, Bengals.
Here you go, 1 Brooklyn-style pizza.
All right. What's a Brooklyn-style pizza?
What's a Brooklyn-style pizza? What are you, nuts?
You tell him, Ma!
It's good pizza, boss. Brooklyn-style pepperoni.
Big slice, big toppings.
Gotta fold it like this.
You call that a fold? Come on, fold it like a man.
I am folding like
ridiculous.
Get our new Brooklyn-style pizza with your choice of extra-large sausage or pepperoni for just $9.99.
Get the door. It's Domino's Brooklyn-style pizza.
Oh, there's a spot.
Nice work, buddy.
Hang on.
Oh, I can't get out.
I got it.
Get any new Dodge, like the all-new Nitro, equipped with a Sirius satellite radio, and you'll get a 12-month subscription to the best radio on radio.
Whoops.
Nice picture.
Listen, would you like to...
Coach, tonight's the playoffs. We need you.
But I was fired for introducing you to rock and roll.
None of that matters now. Coach.
No matter what you watch, you'll both agree on the world's first television for men and women. Bravia. Choose more endings at sony.com/HDTV.
Is this party crasher a decorated veteran or a cold-blooded killer?
I'm afraid our hero is more than a little tarnished.
She survived the accident, but she won't survive recovery.
Cole didn't die because someone made a mistake. The answers are in the evidence.
A new CSI New York Wednesday.
That tells you how efficient the San Diego Chargers have been from late in the first half until now. 38-35, 14:55 to play, and there's the duo that has done a bunch of damage for Cincinnati today.
And I think the decision right now for Kading is, do I pooch one? Do I hit it up in the air and try to feather it down in there, or do I hit a knuckleball bouncer? It's getting to kick off from the 45. You certainly can't put too much on it or it'll be in the end zone for a touchback.
He's going to give it everything he has.
Now, what was the use of that? Why wouldn't you try to at least get get them back inside the 20-yard line? I can't believe that was the design.
Be that as it may, and I don't have an awful lot of chance to use that phrase.
Be that as it may.
That's right. From the 20-yard line, that's where the Bengals will start.
It makes you sound so scholarly,
so mercurial. So here we go. Rudy Johnson, Jeremy Johnson in the backfield behind Carson Palmer, who's going to throw. And lost the football. Back at the 10-yard line, Chargers say they have it. Sean Phillips was in on Carson Palmer and recovered the fumble.
And he got the matchup that he wanted against the fullback, Jeremy Johnson. 31 there is going to try to make the block, and he just isn't up to it. A lot of offensive tackles in this league can't handle Sean Phillips, and the fullback certainly isn't going to be able to do it here. He turns his shoulder, and Palmer never sees Sean Phillips coming in. That is the matchup that Wade Phillips and the Chargers wanted. Their best, most instinctive pass rusher against a fullback.
And now the first turnover of the day goes to the Chargers, who have first and goal just inside the 10. Here comes LT, cuts it back all the way to the end zone for the touchdown. Four touchdowns on the day for LaDainian Tomlinson.
Well, any great running back has to have vision. And LaDainian Tomlinson, trying to go to the corner out of his peripheral vision, sees the hole back to the inside. Then the physical ability kicks in to make that kind of a cutback. And nobody in a Cincinnati uniform in a position to challenge it.
Extra point is up and good, and for the first time today, the San Diego Chargers are in the lead, 42-38.
You got, little mama. Show me what you got, bird lady. Show me what you got, shawty. Show me what you got, baby. Hands up and wave, 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 and wave. Show me what you got. Povey in the spot, I told you I was hot. Tell these other dudes it's the rap. The king's back. Expect everything.
If you're a man over 50, it's time to take the Avodart quiz. Are you always going? Do you have trouble going? Are you going at night? Maybe you think you have a going problem. But what if it's a growing problem? What if it's not your bladder, but instead you have an enlarging prostate? 50% of men over 50 do, and you may be able to do something about that going and growing with Avodart. Most medicines only treat symptoms. Avodart, with time, actually shrinks the prostate and improves urinary symptoms. Only your doctor can tell if your symptoms are from an enlarged prostate and not a more serious condition, such as prostate cancer. So have regular prostate exams. Avodart is for men only. Women should not take or handle Avodart due to the risk of a specific birth defect. Tell your doctor if you have liver disease. Rarely, sexual side effects, tenderness, or swelling of the breast can occur. Have you called your doctor? Avodart, for your growing problem.
The NFL on CBS is sponsored by Verizon Wireless. The U.S. Army, there's strong, and then there's Army Strong. To find out more, talk to your local recruiter. And by Chrysler, inspiration comes standard.
These teams have converged on Paul Brown Stadium today to combine for 80 points. That's the most in an NFL game this season, and we still have 14:40 to play in regulation.
At this pace, 100 points is in jeopardy.
Kading's kick going to come down short of the end zone. From the 9-yard line, it's Chris Perry. And Perry won't reach the 25. He makes it out to about the 23. But how about the day LT has had today?
Well, if he's one of the guys on your fantasy team, you're a happy guy because he's had a busy day. This back in the first half, just off left tackle. He powers it into the end zone. Now he comes back. It's the exact same play for his second touchdown. Look at the stiff arm. Even being face masked, he still gets into the end zone. And yep, you can count them up. That's 4 for LaDainian Tomlinson, who's lighting it up.
So Palmer back to work now. And here's a double reverse. Here comes Chad Johnson. And Johnson gets really nothing on the play. Carlos Polk put a stop to it.
Well, it ended up where Carson Palmer was his lead blocker there at the point of attack. And I'm not quite sure that's what you're looking for. Sean Phillips almost destroyed the whole thing. He almost took the handoff. And Phillips, who missed the last 2 games because of a calf injury, appears to be all the way back.
2nd and 10. Rudy Johnson straight ahead. Running room spins across the 35 out to about the 38-yard line and a first down.
Now Rudy looking at his own bench, trying to fire his guys up. The crowd, they need to get back into this thing here in Cincinnati.
A little bit stunned.
They're very much stunned. Well, after the lead they had in the first half, they didn't envision themselves at the beginning of the 4th quarter being behind. Who could have?
Rudy again. These last 2 plays, a severe slowing down of the action as we've seen it so far.
We've actually had 2 plays and no one scored. You're right. People will be nodding off all around America. It has been one big play after another this whole game.
Look at the total yards. Oh. On 2nd and 5. Here's Rudy Johnson. Johnson across midfield into San Diego territory to the 43 and a first down.
Well, and after having so much success throwing the ball, a very effective change of pace going to the running game. Outstanding block by Jeremy Johnson, the fullback. Then Eric Steinbach, the left guard, comes around and gets in on the action. And this is a nice change of pace by Cincinnati.
Remember, Rudy Johnson did not start this game. Held out by Coach Marvin Lewis, and he's tackled behind the line of scrimmage there by Carlos Polk. Missed a meeting yesterday. Alarm clock issues, we are told. And the fact is, Marvin Lewis said you're not starting and held him out for the first couple of series before he got to see any action since he's been in. Look at the yardage he's piled up. 2nd and 13. Blitz is picked up, throwing near side. That's incomplete. Batted down nicely by Quentin Jammer, the cornerback.
That ball took a while to get to TJ Houshmandzadeh, and by the time it got there, Quentin Jammer was able to drive alongside without interfering with Houshmandzadeh and make contact with the football. That's the way you teach a corner to close and play the football without interfering with the receiver.
Now the Bengals face a 3rd and 13. They need to reach the 33 of the Chargers for a first down. Palmer with time over the middle, in and out of the hands of Houshmandzadeh.
Boy, there's something we haven't seen today. Receivers have been catching the ball all over the field. very few dropped passes, and this one is going to qualify. TJ Houshmandzadeh receives a perfectly thrown ball from Carson Palmer and just can't catch it.
Keenan McCardell deep for the punt. Larson, sky high, fair catch called for and made at the 11-yard line. 11:24 to play. Fourth quarter. San Diego behind all day, now leading.
Can I take your order, please?
I want candy.
Black coffee in bed.
Sugar, sugar.
Tutti frutti.
Nice.
Rubber biscuit.
Ooh, nails for breakfast, tax for snacks.
Rock lobster.
Sonic peaches.
Please drive forward.
Get any new Chrysler, like the all-new Aspen, equipped with a Sirius satellite radio, and you'll get a 12-month subscription to the best radio on radio.
What did we just order?
Here's how it works. Get the nation's slimmest smartphone at a very slim price. The Cube. With easy access to email and Windows Mobile. It's the stylish way to work. Exclusively from Verizon Wireless, America's most reliable wireless broadband network. Verizon Wireless, it's the network.
Every guy's looking to go high def. Our pledge is to help you wow them with the ultimate system.
Like the latest from LG. LG TVs let you see and feel everything in true digital reality. Now save up to $300 when you buy an LG TV with any home theater installation. Only at Best Buy.
God or no God? Suppose I can't rule him out. Now why am I fixing his mistakes? How do you know we're not the disease?
If I have to treat him like he's the Wizard of Oz every day, I'm gonna have nothing left for the patients.
I'm sorry I'm late. I was having difficulty with my hot air balloon.
Gaining yards has not been a problem here today for either the Chargers or the Bengals. Look at those numbers. Now Scott Green has stepped in.
I think he had a timing issue with the back judge there. They reset the play clock.
Nick Hardwick is back at center.
That's amazing.
For San Diego. Here's LT. Tripped up. Forward to about the 12.
That is amazing that Hardwick is back in there after the way his right ankle got rolled underneath there. That is good for him. That's just remarkable. Take a look at that. He got that thing caught underneath, got it out at the last minute.
Of course, it's entirely possible to be as big as an apartment building by morning.
Well, he's back doing what he wants to do right now.
That 2nd and 9. Rivers pump fake. And down he goes inside the 5. John Thornton, number 97.
Well, that's partly a coverage sack because Rivers can't find anywhere to go with the football. He's got a chance. He does the pump fake, comes back to the other side. Had plenty of time to get rid of it. That's not the end of the world. Better than the alternative.
3rd and 18. Rivers from his end zone throws to Tomlinson out of bounds at about the 12-yard line, and that won't be nearly enough for a first down.
No, but it means that Cincinnati has to go an extra 8 or 9 or 10 yards if they're going to score. So not that this game has been fought over a yard or two. Yardage has been coming and going in this game in big chunks.
That's Kewan Ratliff back to receive the kick. Delta O'Neal injured His last time on the field, Ratliff set to return. Lost the ball and picked up by a teammate. Back to the 45 of the Chargers. Jonathan Joseph, the rookie cornerback, was there and got a fortuitous bounce.
Couldn't have worked out much better for the Bengals. A muff ends up being a lucky bounce.
There's strong, and then there's Army strong. It is not just the strength to obey, but the strength to command. Not just strength in numbers, the strength of brothers. Not just the strength to lift, the strength to raise. Not just the strength to get yourself over, the strength to get over yourself. It's more than physical strength. It is emotional strength. There is nothing on this green earth stronger than the U.S. Army, because there is nothing on this green earth stronger than a U.S. Army soldier. There's strong, and then there's Army strong. Find out more at goarmy.com/strong.
For years, I ate fried food and burgers that looked like this. And I looked like this. Then I found Subway restaurants. And I realized I could enjoy lots of great tasting food without lots of fat. Like the tasty sweet onion chicken teriyaki sandwich, juicy chicken strips, veggies, and a delicious sweet onion sauce, all on freshly baked bread with just 5 grams of fat. What have you got to lose? Later, big guy. Subway, eat fresh.
The NFL on CBS is sponsored by Casino Royale in theaters November 17th and by yellowbook.com. Quick, local, reliable. Search online at yellowbook.com.
Greg Gumbel along with Dan Deerdorf back at Paul Brown Stadium in Cincinnati, where the Bengals led 28-7 at halftime. Since then, the Chargers have outscored the Bengals 35-10 and lead it 42-38. Still just over 9.5 minutes to play. Carson Palmer back to the air. Throws. Incomplete.
That's interference.
Here come all the penalty markers you can possibly gather.
Well, that's not only interference, that's a horrendous cheap shot. That's how you hurt somebody badly. And T.J. Houshmandzadeh is down on the ground.
This is Marlon McCree with that hit.
Helmet to helmet. Launched himself at T.J. Houshmandzadeh. That is totally uncalled for.
And T.J. looking very dazed out there on the field.
And Marlon McCree justifiably penalized on the field, and I'll guarantee you will be separated with massive amounts of his personal income by the National Football League. This is headhunting at its very classic. Helmet to helmet. Turned himself into a weapon, launching himself at Houshmandzadeh. That's Bush League.
If you are just joining us, Marlon McCree there looking on after having been penalized for a hit. It has been a hugely offensive game on both sides today. LaDainian Tomlinson has tied a team record for San Diego with 4 rushing touchdowns. Chad Johnson has set a franchise record for the Bengals with 226 yards receiving. And both teams have piled up massive amounts of yardage. T.J. Houshmandzadeh is on the field and now just getting up. This is what just happened. And it's good to see him up and walking. Here's what happened to Houshmandzadeh.
Running a crossing pattern left to right. Way before the ball gets there. He is hit by Marlon McCree. And look at Chad Johnson. Gives his former college teammate a little bus on the cheek, although I'm not sure TJ is aware of it. McCree left his feet and used his helmet as a weapon to hit Houshmandzadeh right in the head.
End result, Bengals first down at the 22. Here's Rudy Johnson. Rudy Johnson started this day on the bench, the result of missing a team meeting yesterday morning. Coming up on 9 minutes to play here in the fourth quarter. On 2nd and 6, the give is to Johnson. Johnson cut down at the 23 by McCree. And we welcome those of you joining us now here at Paul Brown Stadium in Cincinnati, where offensive fireworks have been the order of the day. Cincinnati led 28-7 at halftime. San Diego has come back to take a 42-38 lead. Bengals are threatening at the 24-yard line. It's 3rd and 6.
If they don't go any farther, they'd be looking at about a 41 to 42-yard field goal.
Palmer from the shotgun. Little shovel pass, and that's going to go nowhere as Chris Perry is knocked back at the line of scrimmage. Now we have a marker down in the secondary. And let's see what that's about.
Ineligible downfield. Number 53. Penalty is declined. 4th down.
That's the penalty on Eric Guychuk, the center.
Well, now the Bengals will try a field goal.
Shane Graham has a couple of 51-yarders to his credit this season, but he missed a 51-yarder earlier today. This one will be 44. Larson will hold. The kick is on its way, and it looks good, and it is. 7:48 to play in the fourth. Bengals are within 1 at 42-41.
Well, we've had a busy fourth quarter already up to this point, even though we played just a little more than 7 minutes of it. Got started with LaDainian Tomlinson breaking the tackle, running through a face mask and scoring. But then Carson Palmer on the very next play has a turnover with a fumble that was followed by this touchdown run by LaDainian Tomlinson. And that is his 4th touchdown of the afternoon. And we are in an old-fashioned shootout. 83 points, 856 total yards so far in this ball game, and with 7:48 left to go, obviously more fireworks to come.
You made the association with the old AFL. You're kind of looking around for Golden Wheels de Benyon.
That's Albert. That's exactly right. Jamal Williams over on the sideline for Marty's club. And now as Cincinnati gets ready to defend, we have seen it all. There's what happened, and the story of this game was the Bengals jumped out to this huge lead.
TJ Houshmandzadeh laid out on the field a few moments ago, still being looked at and smiling.
Well, that is a really good sign.
Michael Turner from the 3. Across the 25 to about the 29. Once things wind down here, we have golf coming your way next. Greg Norman, Annika Sorenstam, Fred Couples and more show off at the Merrill Lynch Shootout. That's coming up next here on CBS Sports. A look at the leaderboard and the Daly Holmes duo with a 1-shot lead. That's still to come here on CBS. Well, it looks like TJ Houshmandzadeh is cracking jokes on the sideline now.
We're being told, yeah, what his return now is questionable.
On first down, Rivers throws it away from the near side. Tomlinson was over on this side. Medea Williams was covering. 2nd and 10. The Chargers have scored touchdowns, Dan, on 6 of their last 8 drives.
Both teams have had issues when it comes to pressuring the quarterback. Both of these offensive lines have given their quarterbacks a lot of good looks, and the coverage in the respective secondaries has hardly been textbook. We have had a lot of wide open receivers all day for both teams.
On 2nd and 10, far side of the field, and that is complete to Antonio Gates, the tight end, and he's out of bounds.
Antonio was going so full speed towards the sidelines that even though he was close to the first down marker, there's no way that he could stop his momentum in time to turn upfield.
See, the Chargers have gone back to huddling up for a while there. They had their offense clicking with a no-huddle offense and were able to produce a couple of consecutive touchdowns, and now we have a timeout on the field. San Diego uses its first timeout here in the second half and stops the clock with 7:20 to play in regulation.
Well, what Phillip Rivers and Cam Cameron there, the offensive coordinator, and you know what they've got going for them? It's called number 2-1. You've got a guy, a weapon like LaDainian Tomlinson that is such a gifted receiver, such a gifted runner. Not to mention the fact he's pretty darn good on the option pass as well. When you're trying to protect the lead, what a luxury it is to have a guy like Tomlinson, who you can see rushing wise hasn't exploded today. As a matter of fact, in the first half, he couldn't get loose at all. The Bengals really did a nice job of bottling him up.
Coming in today, he was the NFL leader in total yards from scrimmage. Carson Palmer looking for his chance to get back in. Let's see if he can here. 3rd and 2. The pitch. Oh, look at that move by Tomlinson to break free and out to midfield for a first down.
Imagine that they would give the ball to Tomlinson. Who would have thought that? What a move he puts out here. Is it Robert Geathers? Oh, now that's tough to ask a defensive end to try to make that play. It's tough to ask a linebacker or a corner or a strong safety, but to ask a defensive end, that's asking a lot. That's never going to happen.
LT gets a breather on the sideline. He's up to 94 yards rushing on the day. Michael Turner is in to replace him. Talk about a change of pace. Turner for about a yard or two.
The thing about Michael Turner, though, number 33 right there, is this guy, he's got a 6.5 yards per carry rushing average. Michael Turner is a guy, it won't be for San Diego because Tomlinson plays here. He's going to play someplace else. Take a look at that. That's 6.5 yards, best they've ever had. This guy's going to make a lot of money in this league being somebody's primary running back. There's no way San Diego can keep them both.
2nd and 8. Rivers on the run and throws it away. That'll stop the clock with 6:08 to play. We get an update from James Brown in New York. JB.
Hey, Greg and Dan, the Ravens had trailed as much as 26-7 to the Tennessee Titans, but McNair bringing them back, hooking up with Derek Mason, both former Titans, 27-26 with 3:30 left in regulation. Baltimore nursing a 1-point lead. Greg and Dan.
James, thank you. Everybody here in Cincinnati watching that one closely, watching what happens here. On 3rd and 8, LT back into the backfield. And this one blown dead before it got underway. Timeout is called by the Bengals. So that's their first timeout here in the second half.
This is their first charge timeout. This is a 30-second timeout.
You can see a little indecision on the part of the Bengals. They were lined up with just 3 down linemen, and they weren't sure how many guys they were going to bring on a rush. They've been coming with the blitz more often than not, and it's been handled. being picked up by Cincinnati. That time they were going to have a change in strategy and drop more into coverage, trying to confuse Rivers.
As you look at Carson Palmer's numbers, it bears repeating. The Bengals came in with a 2-game losing streak, losers of 4 of their last 5. Marvin Lewis, the head coach, trying to figure out a way to inspire his troops, walked into the first team meeting of the week with the statistics from the first 8 games of the season and set them on fire, burned them up, and said, it's a new day. 3rd and 8. Rivers on the move, throws sideline to Malcolm Floyd, and that is complete for a first down.
Malcolm Floyd has come up huge today for the Chargers. First of all, he is huge. He's 6'5". He had both feet down. Let's take one more look at it. Did he get them both down? Yes, he did, with possession of the football. Good call by the official on the sideline.
5 catches, 109 yards for Floyd today. And we get a timeout.
Are we going to get a timeout, or are we going to get a challenge?
Well,
is Marvin going to try to challenge whether or not that was a completed pass?
Cincinnati is challenging the ruling on the field that it was a completed pass.
Well, once again, the issue has to be control of the football, because he did get both feet down.
Looks to me like he's got firm control of that football. I don't think when there's possession right there, he gets his arm hit a little bit. I don't think the feet are an issue. And in my estimation, he's got firm control of the football as well. And keep in mind now, that was the ruling on the field. So Scott Green is going to have to see conclusive evidence to overturn it. 100% conclusive.
Now, if Marvin Lewis loses this, the Bengals are down to 1 timeout.
And that could be critical. Let's take one more look at it, but given the fact the ruling on the field is a completed pass, he's got firm control of that football with both feet down. You know, kind of lost in our being so analytical is what a really nice catch this is by Malcolm Floyd.
Malcolm Floyd came in today with a total of 90 yards receiving. He's chalked up 109.
Well, Eric Parker of San Diego had a neck injury, so he's been removed from the picture, and Floyd's really had to step up, and he has.
After reviewing the play, the ruling on the field stands. The receiver had possession with both feet inbounds. Cincinnati is charged with a timeout.
So now the Bengals are down to 1 timeout remaining.
And Marvin took a calculated risk there in challenging that. It was such a critical play, such a big play, picking up the first down and moving the sticks. But boy, losing that timeout is damaging. And Phillip Rivers, his first year as a starter, this kid continues to look cool and calm.
Marty Schottenheimer admits he's better than I thought he'd be.
Exceeded expectations is Marty's catchphrase.
37-yard line. LaDainian Tomlinson to the 35. The clock continues to move. 5:25 to play.
And one of the Bengals' helmet came rolling off.
A field goal would be huge for San Diego here. It would boost them back to a 4-point lead and force the Bengals in the final moments if this game should come to it.
Well, they're not there yet because that's too far. You couldn't surrender the field position to try it from here. It'd be like 52 or 53 yards.
Rivers to throw. Far side of the field and incomplete. Keenan McCardell on that side of the field, and now it'll be 3rd and 8.
And that's the type of a pass at this stage of the game that stops the clock. And that is such a break for the Bengals. That sure flies in the face of, you know, everybody who talks about Marty Ball and all this and all that. That was not what you would think would be classic Marty Ball, just trying to squeeze the air out of the football. He's still putting it in his young quarterback's hands.
Marty Ball sure went to the air an awful lot today, didn't he? Play clock down to 3 to 2. He got the snap off. Under pressure over the middle, and that's complete to Gates. Gates to the 15, inside the 10, first and goal for San Diego.
Well, Marty Ball has been put into the freezer for a while. Successive passes when you're trying to kill the clock by Phillip Rivers, and look how close that came. Jonathan Joseph, the corner, almost look how close he comes to making that play on Antonio Gates. But as he normally does in one-on-one battles, Gates is the guy that comes away winning that battle with the football in his hands.
27-yard gain to the 8, first and goal. Tomlinson inside the 5 to the 1. And LaDainian Tomlinson, 103 yards on the day now. His 4 touchdowns tie for the franchise lead for San Diego.
And right now San Diego is in no hurry to run a play. They are in no hurry to run this play. A touchdown and an extra point would make it an 8-point game, which means that's still a 1-possession game.
11th play of this drive. And all kinds of movement up front.
Oh, that's going to cost the Chargers 5 yards.
Let's see if this is the rookie Marcus McNeil.
False start. Offense. Number 73.
It is.
5-yard penalty. Second down.
That's exactly who it is. Talk about exceeding expectations. Marty can't say enough nice things about his rookie left tackle from Auburn. This guy has not played like a rookie, although that mistake right there is damaging.
I think it's the nicest compliment you can get from Marty Schottenheimer when he says about you, he gets it.
That's exactly what he said, and you're right.
Second and goal. Tomlinson to the 5.
Well, right now, if I'm one of the Cincinnati Bengals and I go into the huddle, one of the things all 11 guys have to remind each other of is LaDainian Tomlinson is a threat to throw the football. Just because it's a handoff to Tomlinson doesn't guarantee that it's a running play. It's a defensive reminder. You got to tell everybody in there, be alert.
He's rushed for 16 touchdowns this year, caught 2 TD passes, and thrown 1. Rivers pulls it down, gonna run, looking now, pitches for the touchdown to Brandon Manumaleuna.
How about Phillip Rivers? How about Phillip Rivers not crossing the line of scrimmage and dumping that little thing off to Brandon Manumaleuna? How do you defend that? And that is one disgusted guy, Marvin Lewis, turning and walking away.
That's a career-high 3rd touchdown pass of the day for Phillip Rivers. Katie's extra point is good. And with 2:29 to play in the 4th, San Diego stretches its lead to 49-41.
Phillip Rivers takes a look. Initially, good protection. He leaves the pocket on his own. He's never flushed from the pocket. And then that thing right there. We talked earlier about Manumaleuna having soft hand. Keep in mind, this guy weighs 300 pounds now. He's a load. He's not the primary receiver. He just keeps running. And that was all Phillip Rivers. all Phillip Rivers. And he takes a big hit at the end of it, and that is hardly a textbook throw, but that is a TD.
Marvin Lewis saw the promise of so much today and a huge early advantage. And many of the Bengal faithful.
Well, I don't know why anybody in their right mind would be leaving this stadium. They're a touchdown and a two-point conversion from tying up the game. And when you've already scored 41, what would lead you to believe that you couldn't score a few more?
This is Rivers in the second half alone.
Well, Carson Palmer had close to the perfect first half. He was, what, 20 of 23, I believe. And now Phillip Rivers, he chimes in the second half.
From the 13, this is Chris Perry. 25, sideline, up the sideline and out of bounds at about the 40-yard line. There's Deltha O'Neal looking on from the sideline, and Carson Palmer back on stage. He has had his mechanics analyzed all week. Everyone and his uncle have voiced an opinion as to how his recovery from last year's knee injury is going. And he's thrown the ball well. Now he finds himself down 8 points. 2:23 to play and one timeout. Pulls it down now over the middle, and that's complete. Chris Henry, and Henry to midfield for a first down.
Well, one thing that Carson Palmer is missing is T.J. Houshmandzadeh, who unfortunately is on the Cincinnati bench. He's not on the field. And that is a huge loss for the Bengals at a critical time.
And we hit the 2-minute warning. 2 minutes to play in Cincinnati. We'll be back.
In 5 days, Bond is back. Perfect.
Good evening, Mr. Bond.
Casino Royale, rated PG-13, Friday.
How did you become such a great master?
Yellowbook.com. Everyone is searching for something. Say pizza makes you happy. Type in what and where. Infinite information. Yellowbook.com.
Quick, local, reliable.
Today we're going to teach some Nimrod how to use a stereo.
Yes, sir.
First thing you need is a pair of Hager pants with those bigger, unrippable pockets.
Just how deep does that pocket go?
What you doing, yo? Hey, how you fellas doing? Let me adjust your volume for you. I wouldn't mind listening to some quiet. Get out of here. We'll see you next time when we learn how to say no thank you to telemarketers. Until then, we'll be right here making things right.
Hey, you got Singular?
No, Sprint.
Sprint mobile broadband downloads 5 times faster than Singular's Edge.
Well, I'm done.
Because in business, it pays to keep moving. Get the power of the nation's largest mobile broadband network. Get a free mobile broadband card. Visit sprint.com/mobile broadband. Sprint. Power up.
We were born on the same day. We look exactly alike, but no one knew we were identical twins. Until the night we were murdered.
Identical twins? You gotta be kidding me. Every death has at least 2 stories.
Carson Palmer taking stock of the San Diego defense. He's thrown for 406 yards today. That's his second half.
And that one lost fumble was really critical as it led to an immediate LaDainian Tomlinson touchdown for the Chargers.
From the 49-yard line, first down, Bengals. Palmer. Oh, what a catch. What a throw. Chad Johnson inside the 30. First down.
With only one timeout remaining, Carson Palmer's really trying to get his team to hustle to the line.
22-yard pickup on the play. Palmer throws near side. That's complete to Reggie Kelly, and he's barreled out of bounds at about the 27.
Boy, Kelly took a big hit at the end of that play.
These two teams have combined for 90 points today. That's the most in an NFL game since November of '04, when Cincinnati and Cleveland combined for 106 in this same stadium.
And you know right now, Bob Bratkowski, the offensive coordinator for Cincinnati, has got to be chewing around a two-point conversion play.
Palmer, complete to Johnson. Johnson to the 15 and a first down. Clock continues to move, coming up on a minute 20. What a day Chad Johnson has had.
Keep in mind, Cincinnati operates out of the no huddle anyway, so this is no big deal for them.
Palmer under pressure, incomplete, and hit from behind, and he goes down at the 20. 2nd and 10. And 1:05 to play.
260 yards for Chad Johnson, almost 24 yards a catch, a pair of touchdowns, and needless to say, with them at the 15-yard line, he may not be done. He may not be done yet.
2nd and 10. Palmer with all kinds of time, throws for the end zone, incomplete. Chris Henry had it and dropped it.
Oh, Carson did what Phillip Rivers did on the last possession for San Diego. His movement buys him time. Again, not really flushed too badly from the pocket, and on the move delivers it right to Chris Henry. Take a look at that from behind. Chris Henry felt the defender coming from the other direction, kind of pulled up a little short, tried to hand catch it instead of body catch it, and dropped it.
3rd and 10. Palmer flips it out here to Kenny Watson, and Watson dragged down at about the 15-yard line, and the timeout is called. The Bengals use their final timeout to stop the clock with 40 seconds to. They need the 5-yard line for a first down.
And again, without Hushmanzada, that's a hole in their attack.
Palmer throws, incomplete. Incomplete in the end zone, and the ball goes over to San Diego on downs. And it puts the Chargers in prime position to stretch their winning streak to 3, and the Bengals losing streak going to 3.
And this has been one of the most entertaining football games any of you have seen in a long time. The ball just really sails and takes off on Carson Palmer, trying to get it down there to Glenn Holt, and that ball just got away from him. And Marty Schottenheimer has to be a little stunned. It's not every day you give up 41 and win.
And the man who leads all active NFL coaches in victories going to chalk up another one here in Cincinnati today. LaDainian Tomlinson, 4 touchdowns for the Chargers today.
Well, Greg, we came into this game watching the stars, Tomlinson and the Johnsons and Palmer, and they all delivered today. They really delivered. This was a showcase for the offensive play of these stars in the NFL.
What a game in Cincinnati. San Diego down 21 at halftime. It's the biggest comeback in the Chargers franchise history. For Dan Deerdorf, Greg Gumbel, so long from Cincinnati. The Chargers ring up a 49-41 win. After this, we'll send you to New York and James Brown. You've been watching the NFL on CBS.
Rick Wilcoxon is a real Geico customer, not an actor. So to help tell a story, we hired an actor.
Originally, I switched to Geico to save money, but then I was in an accident.
Yeah, that's right. I was in an accident.
I got on the phone and called Geico.
Yeah. Well, Hey, how's it going?
After a few days, I had my repair check. It was fantastic.
Yeah, I got the check. Got my car fixed. It's my birthday. Fixed my bumper. New taillights.
Geico. Real service, real savings.
It's my birthday.
And now, here's the Geico Play of the Day. In the second quarter between Buffalo and Indianapolis, Peyton Manning found Reggie Wayne for this one-yard touchdown, Wayne's 6th of the season. The Indianapolis Colts became the first team in NFL history to go 9-0 in consecutive seasons. Brought to you by Geico. 15 minutes can save you 15% or more on car insurance.
For years, E-Trade was alone, standing outside, throwing stones at the financial establishment, challenging the ordinary. Now that we've matured, we're doing it from inside. E-Trade Financial combines banking, trading, and investing so you can make the most of your money. Be maximized. Visit etrade.com and be extraordinary.
You're watching the NFL on CBS, home of Super Bowl 41.
Catch the class. CBS tomorrow.
All across the country, fans are seeing football in a whole new way. With unprecedented access to the NFL. 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. Fans have made NFL Network one of the fastest growing networks in television history. This Thanksgiving, join us for the network's premiere of Thursday Night Football. A new tradition begins at the place football season never ends.
La pasión por el fútbol americano comienza con los niños. El programa NFL Youth les brinda la oportunidad de aprender jugando. Un deporte al alcance de todos.
La pasión comienza contigo.
Smart move, Hoover! He may have been born tonight, but not last night. All right, so we'd like to welcome those of you who are watching that San Diego-Cincinnati contest to our brief post-game show here. San Diego tying its biggest comeback ever, 21 points to win over the Cincinnati Bengals. Unbelievable indeed. Maryland shootout next.
There's an exciting sound in travel. Get exclusive low fares sent directly to your desktop by downloading Ding at southwest.com.
CBS Sports thanks you for watching this presentation of the National Football League.
Jericho, CBS Wednesdays.
You are watching NFL Sunday Ticket.
Once upon a time, there was this idea. One of those proverbial big ideas. An idea so big that it needed help making the leap between possibility and reality. This big idea? It's your idea. Now who's gonna help you make it real?
You need some help?
Yeah. Could you give me a jump?
Sure.
Give it a try.